everybody, welcome back. We're joined now by one of our friends. You know him as the host of All In with Chris Hayes on MSNBC. Chris Hayes is joining us, everybody.
How you doing, Seth?
I'm doing very well. Right before we went live with this interview, I was talking with you and your wife. I know that you, 3 kids, 2 whose school year is over, and you were basically homeschooling. How's that going?
Well, I should stipulate that Kate, my wife, has been doing the lion's share of it, but she basically has 2.5 hours in a day to herself. She's working all day homeschooling, and then she's anchor producing me when I do the show. So she has very long days. So there's 2.5 hours that I have the kids. And, you know, if I have one more Zoom meeting number or password or app that needs some login, I'm going to lose my mind. And everyone's doing their best and everyone's trying, but like, it's hard. And, you know, it's a lot of work and it's hard to not be distracted, particularly when you've got the show that night.
Yep.
And there's a lot of kind of like, all right, why don't you just go read over
yeah. What I think we have something in common, which is when we realized we had to do our shows from home, that we did not have very good internet. Is that true?
Correct. Yes, I had to upgrade to the premium level.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing I've noticed. So we're getting this weird window into people's internet quality through the various Zoom, and there's no predicting. Like some people, like Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, who she and her husband have a fair amount of personal wealth. That's a publicly reported thing. Not very good internet last night.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy how bad American broadband seems to be generally as we're learning throughout this thing, or just how inconsistent it is across various domains.
Yes. And when you think about Nancy Pelosi, also, the Bay Area, Silicon Valley.
Right.
Your mom, like mine, was a teacher. Your father worked at the Department of Health. They seem like very helpful parents to have during a time like this.
They are. I mean, we miss them because like everyone, they're sheltering in place in the home I grew up in the Bronx. So we're doing a lot of FaceTiming with Nana and Papa, and FaceTiming with people, even particularly loved ones, is always a little weird. But they're great. My mom has been offering teaching advice and sort of goals for lessons. My father, I think, was part of the reason that I kind of locked into this story early, was just seeing he had worked in New York City Department of Public Health, which is an incredible institution, has been for literally over a century, just, an amazing place, and handled the Ebola crisis very well. So I think I had sort of learned from him about a certain kind of cast of mind that public health people have, which is they do tend to think worst case scenario. Like there is a kind of, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes sideways thinking that can be hard to come to if you're a generally happy, optimistic person, but I think has been very helpful for thinking about this.
You were one of the first people to talk about how serious this could get. And I feel as though journalists like yourself had to toe the line between both early reporting and balancing it with the idea of being alarmist. Did you feel at any point that you were screaming into the void in the early days of this?
I did. I mean, I definitely did, particularly the period where it really felt like screaming into the void was when it was clear we had a very sizable, rapidly accelerating outbreak in those first 2 weeks of March, before the real steps happened. Once we had documented community transmission. In February, I think, I had that feeling too. I don't want to freak people out. And I would say, yes, the flu kills a lot of people and the odds of you being hit by this remain relatively low, which was true at the time. But like, if you look at New York now, like New York City, that wouldn't prove to be true in the long run. So yes, to me, the real breaking points are when Dr. Massonnier, the CDC, in late February does that telephone briefing where she says people should start talking about their schools about teleschooling. And people are like, what? What are you talking about? We're going to shut down schools. And then it was like 3 weeks later, we've shut down every school. And when she said that to me was a trigger of like, oh, we're going where Italy is gone. We're going where Wuhan is gone. Like we're all sailing to the same destination.